Good morning. Now, I know we're all here today to talk about the past, right? The legacy of orphaned and abandoned wells. And believe me, that is absolutely vital work. But I'm here to talk about the future. I'm here to talk about how we can flip the script entirely, how we can transform the very definition of liability into the bedrock of American sovereignty.
You know, for decades, our industry has run on a pretty simple model. You extract, you use, and then you dispose. We literally bury our problems. It's what we do. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if the stuff we've been treating as garbage is actually a gold mine? What if instead of burying our energy potential, we started refining it?
Because the real threat to America's energy dominance, it isn't just the wells we've already walked away from. No, it's the ticking time bomb that we are actively creating every single day, right in the heart of our most productive basins.
Look, this conference is, and should be, focused on the historical liability of orphaned wells. I get it. But I'm going to put it to you that there is a far greater, much more immediate threat, what I call the active liability trap. Think of it like a pincer movement, threatening our entire domestic energy posture. And it's made up of the waste streams from our best, most active, and most profitable wells.
So what are these twin liabilities? Let's break it down. First, you've got stranded gas. Over at the Waha Hub, right in the heart of the Permian, natural gas frequently trades at a negative price. Let that sink in. We are paying people to take away a high-density energy source. It's a wasted asset on a monumental scale. And second, produced water. This hypersaline brine, it isn't just a disposal headache, folks. It's an existential threat, directly linked to induced seismicity.
Let's talk scale, because these numbers are just staggering. We're talking about over 20 million barrels of produced water every single day, just in the Permian. Regulators are already banning deep well injection in seismic hotspots. And if a basin-wide ban happens, well, today's Tier 1 assets become tomorrow's orphaned liabilities, practically overnight. The clock is ticking, loud.
So you can't solve a 20 million barrel a day problem by just plugging more holes. It's impossible. We need a total paradigm shift. We have to stop thinking about disposal and start thinking about manufacturing. We need to build a refinery on the whole.
This right here is the core concept of our entire mission. Instead of spending capital to entomb a liability, we invest capital to transform it. We take that entire orphaned ecosystem, the stranded gas, the unwanted water, the existing infrastructure, and we build an integrated, high-value industrial complex right on top of it.
We call this solution Operation Genesis. And let me be really clear, this is not a water treatment plant. It is an integrated energy compute mineral complex. It's a system designed from the ground up to convert those twin liabilities, stranded gas and produced water, into a trinity of high-value assets: off-grid AI compute, domestic critical minerals, and distilled water. Okay, so how does this system actually work? How does it become a self-sustaining economic engine? Well, we've engineered a closed-loop system where each liability perfectly solves the problem of the other. It's a beautiful thing. We call it the triple play power loop. All right, here's how it works. It's a three-step dance. Step 1, we take that negative-cost stranded gas and we use it to generate 500 megawatts of low-cost off-grid power. Step 2, we then use 160 megawatts of that power for high-density compute, a strategic asset that also acts as a kind of grid shock absorber. And now for the best part. Step 3, we capture the waste heat from those servers, which is a liability in any normal data center, and we use that heat as the primary thermal energy source to treat 200,000 barrels of brine per day. It's a perfect thermodynamic synergy. Nothing is wasted.
Now at this point, I know what the engineers and the geologists in the room are thinking. This sounds great, but it also sounds a little like alchemy, right? Turning lead into gold. But it's not magic. It's just applied chemistry, metallurgy, and most importantly, a robust legal framework that makes it all possible.
The legal keystone to this whole thing is New Mexico's Produced Water Act, HB 546. This legislation is absolutely critical because it lets us establish a clear possessory interest in the produced water and everything dissolved in it. Now, crucially, under the NEMD's industrial project pathway, our process is legally defined as beneficiation. And what that means is we are not disposing of waste, we are manufacturing valuable products from an industrial feedstock. That is a game-changing legal distinction. And what exactly are we manufacturing? A domestic supply chain for the most critical minerals on the planet. I'm talking directly to our friends at the FECM here. From every single barrel of brine, our process extracts battery-grade lithium, and yes, you're reading that right, even uranium. We are turning Permian waste into nuclear fuel and battery metals.
So, how do we handle the intense engineering challenges? Permian brine, with TDS up to 280,000 ppm, it's one of the most corrosive environments on Earth. Standard steel, it's destroyed in hours. So we've engineered what we call a kill chain defense. This includes a dual-loop system that uses titanium grade 7 plate heat exchangers. They have a near-zero corrosion rate. We also deploy what we call a gatekeeper process upstream to remove the norm, the naturally occurring radioactive materials that have always been the roadblock for this kind of reuse.
And our commitment to safety here is absolute. The gatekeeper process uses co-precipitation to get rid of radium-226 and 228, reducing their concentrations to below 10 picocuries per liter. This meets incredibly stringent international and EPA standards, and it ensures that our final products, the clean water, the lithium, the salt, are safe and marketable, not some new radioactive liability.
Okay, so we have the legal framework, we've got the technical solution, but why does this matter on a national scale? Because this isn't just about cleaning up the oil field. This is about forging the infrastructure for the 21st century. It's about building what we call sovereign power islands.
There is a presidential directive out there called the Genesis Mission. It mandates that the United States must secure 10 gigawatts of sovereign AI compute. This isn't just a goal, it's a matter of national security. The nation that controls the computational high ground is going to control the future, period. And Operation Genesis is the direct physical answer to that mandate.
And for the folks here from the Department of Energy, listen up. You are facing an unprecedented electricity demand crisis, driven by AI and data centers. The grid is congested, it's fragile. Operation Genesis provides an immediate solution. It brings 500 megawatts of new, firm, off-grid power online without waiting years for transmission interconnect. This solves your electricity crisis, your grid crisis, and your mineral dependency crisis, all in a single integrated project.
And what's more, the entire operation is structured under a FERC-regulated midstream partnership. What that means is, it's recognized by the federal government as critical national infrastructure. That recognition gives us a federal shield, protecting the project from local interference and ensuring our access to low-cost fuel is legally ironclad, which, by the way, is an absolute prerequisite for the $1.5 billion in private capital we're deploying. So, we're not here today asking for a handout. We're here to ask for a partnership. We invite the Department of Energy to join us in executing this vision. We truly believe Operation Genesis is a perfect candidate for Title 17 loan financing, a program designed for exactly these kinds of innovative energy projects, or for pilot funding through the Office of Fossil Energy and Carbon Management to scale this technology across every major basin in America.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. For a century, we have looked at this vast subterranean ocean of brine beneath our feet as a liability, as something to be buried and forgotten. What if we've been dead wrong? What if this liability is, in fact, our single greatest untapped strategic asset? Let's work together to refine it into the sovereign power our nation demands. Thank you very much.